How am I supposed to expect the listeners to journal if I'm not journaling? I can't do it. I can't. I will not ever ask someone else to do something that I'm not willing to do. And I think that there's something about that I deeply crave in the world. I think it's unjust to preach something that you're not practicing.
This is the other thing that I think is very important to state. What the best version of you would do changes in terms of the quality increases. Maybe in the beginning, the best version of you does this thing at 50%. Cool. Is that 50% better than the 49% yesterday? Yes? Awesome. Cool. Good for you. Then maybe the next day it's 51%. Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number 1983, How to Build Willpower, Part 2. We said in yesterday's episode we were going to talk about how to, and then we didn't. And again, it was a shorter episode, so I wanted to make sure we did a part 2 where we actually talked about what we said we were going to talk about. So today we're going to talk about how to actually build willpower.
Do you think we didn't have enough willpower to teach how to build
No,
willpower?
I think we had plenty. I don't think we had the time to stretch into it.
Nice.
I think it was more of a circumstantial thing as opposed to maybe skill set, is what I would say.
Sounds an awful lot like an excuse.
Yeah, I would say so. Yep. What if you could only give, and obviously we'll go deeper, right? But if you could only give one tip for building willpower, I don't know why that's so hard to say. What would it be?
Choose a goal you've always wanted and find out the thing that you kind of can't stand that's necessary to achieve that goal. So for me, it's dieting. Can't stand it. Hey, hate it. Hate dieting.
Same.
Okay. And then you just focus on that each day, because all of us wake up, we have a certain routine. If you tried to brush your teeth with your opposite hand, it takes a lot of willpower.
For sure.
Whereas it doesn't take that much willpower to brush your teeth because you've done it so many times. So there's sort of again, I don't want to overuse this metaphor, but there's a highway to your existing habits, and there's a dirt road to your new habit. And a lot of our goals require us to do something we don't want to do. And then anything that you have to do to get your goal that you don't want to do requires willpower.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
If we just thought purely from this perspective, okay? Because I know we were talking in the previous episode about how there's kind of a push for discipline doesn't work and consistency isn't important and that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
On podcasts and social media and stuff like that.
What was the quote? The guy said, if it's for you, you couldn't possibly screw it up.
Yes, and then we were like, we can't have you on the podcast, man. That's dumb.
Can you go into that real quick?
This is when Alan and I were already kind of on the fence about having guests. For many reasons. One, we were getting busier, and then it's aligning 3 schedules can be really hard. Right? Aligning 2 schedules is hard enough, never mind 3. And as we started to get certain guests on, we had a guest on who is doing all the circuits, Tom Bilyeu, all the shows. And this person was on like a couple of years ago. And after the episode, they were just like so arrogant. Just completely different than they were on the interview. And afterwards, we were like, we're not going to drop that episode, right? And we both agreed. So we just deleted it. And then we had another guest scheduled, I think, for the week after or something. And I always would go through guest social medias the week of or a couple days before the interview because I want to know what they're talking about right now. Like, what are they into? What's their new thing? I want to know. I want to see what they're all about. And I came across a post on this guy that we're supposed to have on, and it was like a video that said essentially, if it's meant for you, you can't possibly screw it up no matter what you do. And I texted Alan and I sent it. I was like, dude, I don't want to interview this guy. If the honest truth is, if I was interviewing him, the only reason I would have been is because he had a big name and he had a big following. I'm not interested in talking to this dude. I think that's out to lunch. I don't think it's going to be helpful for our audience. It's our job to bring value. I don't think that's going to work. So yeah, that was the last time we ever booked a guest. Where was I going before that?
Well, we're talking about willpower and...
Got it. Yep. I'm in. I'm good. Here we go. Okay. You and I, let's say you use me as an example. I come to you and I say, Alan, I have a specific goal that I desire to achieve. I would like to lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, cool, this is the strategy. This is how you're going to do it. And it's going to suck pretty bad. All right, I appreciate that. Let's say you didn't actually know how to help me. Hypothetically, in this hypothetical scenario. You do, but let's say you didn't. I'm 5 weeks in, and I've lost 1 pound. And I'm just frustrated, and I don't want to do it anymore, and I'm convinced this isn't the way. Somebody comes up to me and says, oh, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. All you need to do is insert something here, whatever, right? Cut carbs, whatever it is. That will bring you to your goal. Or something, it's this supplement, it's this, whatever. I then do that thing. I still don't get any results, but I feel good in the process. Can you see why that path is followed?
Yeah. Well done.
You might be doing it right. You might have been doing it right. You just didn't do it right for long enough. And here, this is a good quote. Maybe. Or it's going to be dog shit. It's going to be dog shit. Definitely now, because I lost where I was going to go. There's two thoughts. If you do the right thing long enough, something good will probably happen. If you do the wrong thing long enough, nothing is going to happen. Honestly, it's going to be probably pretty bad. But it's the long enough thing. If you have to figure out the right thing, you have to do it in the right way, and you have to do it for the right amount of time. None of the wrong things are ever going to work no matter how much you do them. Unless it's just accidental. Good, sorry.
How often do you... I do think this is sort of a me thing, but I want... Listener, viewer, anyone, Kev, how often do you go into the future 10 years and go, I'm fucked if I don't change?
10, never. Maybe 5.
Okay. Think about something you're doing or not doing right now and go 5 years into the future. If you don't change that, you're in trouble. You're in some trouble, right? So people think, oh, well, you just like discomfort. No. I'm going into the future and seeing, holy shit, I am screwed if I don't change this now. So Kev used to say, you're so disciplined. I said, I'm more aware of the downside of not being disciplined. I'm not that. Yes, I am. But like, when you have a goal, this is the formula. The more you have self-belief, the higher you will set a goal. The higher your goal, the higher your standards need to be in the moment. The higher your standards are in the moment, the more willpower you have to develop. The more willpower you develop, the more likely you achieve said goal. When you do get to the goal, you decide, shit, I do or do not want to double down on that. And it's a process that you rinse and repeat. So, but it all starts with self-belief. And if you don't believe it's possible for you, if you don't believe it's possible for you or worth it, you're never going to even start that process.
Self-belief is everything. It's a massive piece.
As someone who has a lot of willpower, who has built a lot of willpower, who, when I met him, has had significantly less than he does now.
But still above average, I would say, probably.
Yeah, agreed.
In fair, I want to make sure that's accurate, because it's not like I went from 0 to 10.
Yeah, agreed. How did you build it? How do you build it? Because there's some people who love tracking metrics. Let me read this real quick, and then I want to ask my question. So someone reached out to me and said, I have to say, I've been tracking since group coaching. I missed a couple of months in the fall, and damn, did I notice a difference! ! Off the fucking rails, Alan! ! Nice. Hardly any meditation, no finances, jeffing all around. Almost no misses on exercise and reading, though. of course, they are the things that I love doing and have been doing for my entire life. Okay.
Makes sense.
AKA the things she loves don't require that much willpower. The things that she doesn't love, all of us, require willpower. Okay. And if anyone out there believes they should be able to like live a life where they don't do things they don't want to do, there's no Candyland. That's not a thing. There's no I think I want to be an astronaut and then just not do anything about it.
Just hang out.
Just hang
That
out.
was my strategy early on. Let me tell you, didn't work. Unfortunately, I tried it. Didn't work.
She said this, I just hate tracking. Even though it takes literally 2 minutes at the end of the day to go through the list, I'm trying to figure out why I have strong resistance to it. I do see the difference in my life, and I probably wouldn't have gotten into tracking at all if it weren't for NLU. Thank you. So all the love for setting me up for a better life, aka setting you up for massive self-disappointment. I'm obviously joking. But tracking is nothing more or less than just accountability. And when you track, the reason why people don't like it, I think, is because it basically shows you where you suck. It shows you where you're sucking. My PPT right now is probably an average of like 67%, something like that. I could look it up. It's probably, I know it's not above 75% because in our tracker it turns green if you're above 75%. So I'm 67% great or 33% terrible. Whichever way you want to look at it, it's both. Both are true. But my system is 24 habits with, I think, 9 metrics as of yesterday. So 67% of my current system is world-class compared to when I was 18. When I was 18, I wasn't tracking anything, right? At least not on Google Sheets or writing it down. I was tracking everything in my head. Now, my question for you, Kev, you track now. You've got what? 10 metrics, 18 habits, something like that. It's a lot. I look at your tracker every day because I look at listens and you track the listens. And
I don't know what it is. It's good. It's a full spreadsheet. There's a lot going on in there.
Well, at the beginning, 5 habits, you were like, nope, that sucks. I don't even want to do that. Now you're tracking all that, and now you're on track, and you will achieve, statistically speaking, a lot more. And not only that, let's not talk about what you're going to do. Let's talk about what you've already done. You have your own business. You work from home. You're married. You have a nice place. You have a beautiful luxury car. You have a team, 16-person team. You get to do what you love every day, quote unquote, and a lot of shit you hate. Mm-hmm. And you make a lot of money. You're living, you're in shape, and everything's progressing in the positive direction. Within reason, not everything, but most things. Health, wealth, and love. You're healthy, wealthy, and in love. Fair?
I would say that's fair.
Okay, take willpower out of the equation. None of that is possible.
Nope.
So my question for you is, how the hell did someone go from lost, not even wanting to be here, to living your dream?
One, and this is like the NLU unsexy thing, is you just got to start super small. So here, even when you were saying it, I'm 67% great and 33% terrible. That's maybe Alan's self-talk. I don't think that should be most people's, just because maybe you don't have the self-belief or self-worth to do that yet. If you have 3 habits, it makes it way easier to say I'm 100% accurate right now. That's why we start small. Because in the beginning, you want to set yourself up for wins. Win, 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 win. I don't want you to start off by just taking L's. Start off by getting some W's. That's one thing, is I started off by getting some W's. It's like, oh yeah, I can do this. I can track my bank account every day. I mean, how long does it really take? And even in that person's message, shout out to whoever that is, I don't know, because Alan keeps everything anonymous, just for privacy. But I think they even said in the message, I know it only takes like 2 minutes at the end of the day. That right there is a really good awareness. So you know it's not time. Cool. Great. That's a really good place to start. You know how long it takes to track your bank account? It doesn't take that long. Well, 5 minutes. I mean, we could do ours in 5 minutes, and there's a ton of...
I track it every day.
Right? And there's money that comes in. There's a lot of money that goes out in a bunch of different places. So there's a lot of line items. But you can do it in 5 minutes if you're really dialed in. So one is start small. Start almost embarrassingly small. Because it's behind the scenes. Nobody's going to see it, just you. And you'll actually start to feel belief when you do it. You'll start to recognize when you start to believe.
And Kev started with 5.
5. And honestly, that was probably too much. I probably should have started with 3 based on what we know now. I was working really closely with you, so it was a little bit different.
What was that like? Like, what is it? Not working with me. What was it like to be the only one tracking fucking habits? Dude, that is blowing my mind. Like, I can't even imagine going back to winging it.
I don't think it felt good in the beginning. I think it felt like I understand why people have a negative relationship with discipline. I do. I understand. Because I think most of the things that they've been disciplined in were inaccurate. So they didn't get the results. So they have a negative relationship with discipline, not with the strategy. It doesn't matter how disciplined you are if you're doing the wrong things.
Yeah,
you'll probably improve to a degree, but you're most likely not going to get to where you want to get to. So I understand.
And even if you're doing the right things, if you don't do them long enough.
Right. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so
you almost don't. Today it was like, today's the day I'm going to do the shirtless picture. The back, not the front.
Yeah, okay.
It went, honestly.
The iPhone, dude.
Very honestly, it went worse than I thought. Very honestly. It's in WhatsApp. It's on my story.
Take a glimpse of this warlock.
I've been working really, really, really hard. Really hard and really disciplined. And I've been hitting the gym and I've been gently tracking calories. I know I'm eating under. But I've been doing this since almost 2 months.
Yeah. That's a 35-year-old man right there.
That's a 35-year-old man.
Yeah.
That's not a peak 35-year-old man. I've been dieting
Get some size on you, though.
I've been dieting for 2 months, Alan. 2 months.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah, 2 months.
Yeah.
And I've lost 10 pounds. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't really look like I lost 10 pounds. No, I don't think I look almost any different than I did at the beginning. During some of my workouts I do. But I could see why somebody would say, yeah, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. Like, this isn't it. What if discipline's not the problem? What if consistency, and I mean doing more of it, is not the problem? What if consistency is not the problem? What if it's strategy and or maybe goals that don't serve you? Why is discipline the bad thing? I think the reason discipline seems like the bad thing is because when you do it and have regrets, you blame it.
Yeah.
But why do you have regrets? Is it because of discipline? Or maybe is it because of something else? I was talking to somebody recently, and I've known this person for a long time. This person and I were like into fitness together, and they said, I have just been fucking up when it comes to tracking calories. I'm just like out completely. And I said,
it's the worst.
I said, do you think it's because you were so disciplined for so long, even when you didn't need to be? And they said, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I just built up a negative relationship with it. Okay. You could have dialed it back a little bit. You didn't have to track every calorie just because. You didn't have to. Because now you're not tracking any calories at all. That was you. That wasn't the discipline. It was what you thought you had to do. It was your relationship with your body. It wasn't necessarily the discipline. So I think there's just layers under it. So, yeah, all that. And it feels good when you accomplish something. And then you compare it to what would have happened if you didn't. Tara and I have been crushing not ordering out.
Nice.
I got to talk to you. I went out to dinner the other night.
Mm-hmm.
It was $200. Now, here's the thing. I had a gift card. So it was literally like, this was going to be Tara and I's big celebration. We're going to use a gift card that we have. Gift card didn't work. They're like, hey, gift cards are really finicky. Doesn't work. Oh. They said, should you use this other card? I said, yeah, I mean, you could, you could do that. So gift card didn't work. But
how do you get that money back?
I'm not entirely sure yet. We're working on it behind the scenes because we have like maybe $700 in gift cards that are completely rendered useless if we can't figure out how to spend them. Jesus. Amazon will take them. They'll take anything. That's my thought. Gas stations, there's going to be some plays. Don't worry about it. I'm on it. I'm thinking about it.
Nice.
But we have been really, really, really good. Really good lately. And
now, what do you get from that? Because that's the thing is,
almost
if
nothing.
you don't have a goal, none of this is even point. There's no point.
You get almost nothing in the short run.
Yeah.
You know what I think you get? I think you get self-worth.
You guys are going to buy a house. That's what you're going to get. Kevin and Taryn are going to buy a house, and it's going to be magnificent.
I know,
and
but
that's the truth.
It seems so far away. So I think you get the momentary feeling of putting a proverbial coin in the bank. Like, best self did better than what less than best self would have done. That feels good. Yeah. Because that's essentially what I've been trying to do is reward yourself by giving yourself good feelings when you do the thing that you know you're supposed to do.
Hello, NLU listener. Thank you, as always, for listening to Next Level University. Real quick, I just want to jump in and let you know about the Next Level Dreamliner. This is a journal that I use every single day. Achieve your dreams 90 days at a time. It breaks down your dreams into goals, milestones, and daily habits. We hope you enjoy it. The link will be in the show notes. They talk in the book Willpower about self-esteem and how the way to build real self-esteem inside, we all know this. We all know that it doesn't build self-esteem to fake it till we make it, so to speak. Okay, I cheated on vocab tests when I was in high school. Not all of them, but there was a couple that I cheated on, all right? I told the story about it. Doesn't matter. The point is I had a teacher that did not take teaching seriously. Kevin knows who I'm talking about. I wasn't going to fucking learn anything. I didn't care. I was a math and science guy. I cheated on some vocab tests. Okay. I didn't feel good about myself doing that. That you're never going to build authentic self-esteem by taking a shortcut. And one of the things that really pisses me off in my life is when my brain wants to take a shortcut. It pisses me off. It's like, Alan, why would you do that? The point of this is to build self-esteem and self-belief and self-worth and to be a better person. How is it going to make you a better person to not re-rack your fucking weights? And I'm telling you right now, Emilia and I are in the gym, it's crowded, awesome, okay, go, sign language, let's get it. 45 minutes, get as much done as possible. Frequency, intensity, density, duration, awesome. Goals, dreams, bop. Now, okay, she's moving on, picking the next two workouts because we do flip-flops. I'm behind because I'm sweating like a fat kid. Okay, and I need to wash the machines. I cannot go to the next workout without washing the machines. Can't do it. One time I forgot. I went back and re-washed the machine because I can't live with myself knowing that I didn't give every fucking ounce I did to be the best man I can be. And I think the reason why, and I don't want to make this about me, the reason why is because imagine if the world was like that. Can you imagine if everybody did the right thing, if everybody picked up litter, if everybody was a good person? The world would be such a better place. So this is the way that I think, and I hope that this lands. How am I supposed to be upset with someone bullying someone while I'm being a bully? How am I supposed to be upset with you spending fucking money that we don't have if I'm spending money we don't have? How am I supposed to expect the listeners to journal if I'm not journaling? I can't do it. I can't. I will not ever ask someone else to do something that I'm not willing to do. And I think that there's something about that I deeply crave in the world. I think it's unjust to preach something that you're not practicing. And I think that's one of the reasons we didn't have guests is because we would interview these people who we knew were not practicing what they preach behind the scenes when no one's watching, because the moment those cameras and lights shut off, they were saying things and doing things that were not in alignment with what they just preached. And at the end of the day, I think that self-esteem, to the point of the book Willpower, what they found based on the research is that real self-esteem can never come from cheating on a vocab test. Dopamine can. You can look cool and get dopamine and look like an awesome, I got 100, but authentic self-esteem, self-worth inside you can only be built through saying you're going to do something and then mustering the courage and tenacity and willpower to actually follow through with the highest good. When you are not the best version of yourself, you're literally guaranteeing that you're a worse person in the future. And that perpetuates. It's like a virus that spreads. Some of the people that I was around growing up were really fucking racist. And I wasn't racist, but I was tolerating it. As a kid, I tolerated it because I didn't know any different. But deep down, it hurt my self-esteem and it hurt my self-worth because I knew it was unjust. I knew it wasn't right. And there's something about that that's just so important. And I just hope that the world can set a higher standard and build their willpower. And that means you got to get good sleep. It means I just shout out to anyone out there that's doing all they can with all they have to be the best person they can be, because that is what spreads. It does. It spreads. We all have someone who inspires us. We all have someone to look up to. We all have something to aspire to. And it does. It spreads. Like, COVID was so scary because it spread exponentially and we had the 6 feet distancing. And I think this is a really cool metaphor of I'm very careful with who I allow near me because I don't want their shitty habits and their bad mentalities and their bully tendencies and their victimhood to get on me. I want to be around people who inspire me. Emilia inspires me more than any other human on this planet, and I'm so lucky to have her in my life. And that stems from inside of her. I'm not telling her to exercise every day. I'm not telling her to be a good person. She is that through her own accord. And I know that all of us are capable of that, and I think that that's really the point of this whole willpower thing.
Epic monologue. I was going to go just very tactical. How to is very tactical for me, and I know we didn't in the previous episode. I mean, yeah, I agree. I don't... Unfortunately, I have a tattoo of an angel and devil playing chess for control of the world on my chest and my sleeve, and the devil's winning. And I don't know. I think if people didn't litter, we wouldn't have to pick up litter. You know? It's like you wouldn't have to pick up litter because there would be none.
Yeah.
In this ideal world. I think
and
it
so
can
instead
improve.
of us being upset about it, let's change our own
That's it.
behavior. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I think that's really all you can do. And this is the other thing that I think is very important to state. What the best version of you would do changes in terms of the quality increases. Maybe in the beginning, the best version of you does this thing at 50%. Cool. Is that 50% better than the 49% yesterday? Yes. Awesome. Cool. Good for you. And then maybe the next day it's 51%. I think that's an important thing. Is it changes. It's so much different than it was at the beginning in terms of willpower. It's not... Going to the gym isn't necessarily that hard. Getting up is. Once I'm awake, I'd rather go to the gym than just come into the office. Right? I'd rather do that. I feel better. So maybe the willpower isn't just doing the thing, it's the thing around the things. That's a big piece of it. That's why you'll hear Alan say this all the time, and he used to say it a lot more when we talked more about fitness and exercise. You got to make sure the gym is close, because the last thing you want to do is drive 25 minutes to the gym if you have one closer, right? It takes more willpower to drive 50 minutes total for a gym session. It just does.
Way more. Exponentially more.
Just like, turn it on the other end, if you have a McDonald's 5 minutes down the road, it's harder, if you like McDonald's, it's harder than if it was an hour away. If it was an hour away, you wouldn't even know it was there probably. So it wouldn't trigger you, it wouldn't ping you. So I just think that, I just think it's important to understand that, number one, best version of you evolves and grows. The best version of Kev is drastically different than 7 year ago best version. I wanted to do better and I wanted to be the best me, but I wasn't as capable in certain ways. That's one thing. And I think the other thing is figure out where is the cutoff right now when it comes to discipline and willpower. Is it the actual thing, or is it the thing around the things? We've talked about this before, the 2 Ds of consistency, discipline, and design. Design is, I'm going to make it as easy for myself as humanly possible. Discipline is, I've made it as easy for myself as humanly possible, and it still sucks, but I'm going to do it. And I feel like if you can marry those two together, it makes it a little bit easier. It's still going to be challenging. I think it's supposed to be. I think success is supposed to be challenging because it's outside the realm of what the normal population does. So of course it's going to be challenging. That's what separates the results, right? It's effort and discipline and consistency and grit and all that, willpower, all that stuff.
Yeah, and if you were to have a measurement of Kev, how he feels about himself now versus 8 years ago, I'm sure it wouldn't be close.
No, I feel very competent. That's the other thing, is when you set goals and you actually start to believe you can get them, then the downside is there. So I know I can get to 165 pounds. I'm certain of it. Now, when I screw that up, that hurts more. Like at a personal level. It's like, Kev, you're fucking up in real time. You're actively moving away from what you said you wanted.
It's brutal.
Sucks.
It's brutal. But that's his internal dialogue. A lot of people would say, well, that's have more self-compassion. The truth is that's not self-compassion.
No, I want to get jacked.
That is loving yourself. That is you holding yourself to a higher standard. That's Kev coaching himself, saying, I believe in you. You know you can do this.
I still love me.
Yeah.
I love me, but I have a goal that I know I can accomplish and that I know is deeply meaningful to me, and I know I'll feel super fulfilled when I do it, and I know it's probably going to suck for most of the time.
And how are you going to feel if you don't do it?
I'm going to regret it tremendously.
Yeah. And that's what's driving, right? And I guess
what am I going to say? Oh, next year? I'll do it next year. No, there's only so many more of those. There's only so many more of those next years. I'm going to push everything till I'm 90. I'll be old as shit. You know? I'm not going to get a six-pack at 90, probably. Maybe.
No, probably not.
Probably not.
Almost guaranteed not, depending on what drugs you want to do.
I don't know if there's enough.
Last piece here. They talked about New Year's resolutions and how it's mid-February right now. And if you have this long list of resolutions at the beginning, you're setting yourself up for failure because there's just not enough willpower to do all of them simultaneously. That's why we do health, wealth, and love, and we're sticking to that, because being successful at all three of those, if you're top 1% in health, wealth, and love, that's 1 over 100 to the third power, which is you're 1 in a million. That's 1 in a million. I think that willpower plus humility. Humility to start small, humility to know that you can't slough it off, humility to know that you have to be careful and keep the cookies out of the room. Emilia and I we designed our whole house to make sure that temptation is limited. I know that sounds boring, but one of the things that I want to share about Kev too, hopefully he doesn't mind, he keeps it simple. The dude doesn't have a complex life. You're not trying to... You have 3 things that you're trying to be really good at. Just 3. You want to be a great husband, you want to be a great podcaster and business owner, and you want to be fit. You're not winning at anything else. I'm not trying to be unkind, but there's not enough willpower. This book talks about the research, so don't just hear it from me, but read the book. It talks about how you're not going to be awesome at 12 things. When I was a kid, dude, I loved being good at basketball, and I loved doing backflips on the trampoline, and I loved swimming. I was a really strong swimmer, and I loved volleyball, and I loved football. And when you're a kid, you like to be good at stuff, and you like to compete, and it's a lot of fun. And I played soccer, and I played track, and I did all the different stuff, and there was decathlon, and I did cross country. I kind of sucked at that, even though I realized it was mostly because I wasn't willing to suffer, even though I should have, because in hindsight, blah, blah, blah. And we had one of the best runners in the freaking country, actually. It was making me feel pretty bad. You know who I'm talking about? Dude, going up against him it doesn't matter what I do. I don't care how hard I work. This dude makes it look easy. But the point is that I used to want to be good at everything. I wanted to get good at everything. I loved the process of mastery. Smart. I always didn't like, how come you can't be athletic and intelligent? How come you can't be good looking and a nerd? How come you can't build computers and be good at video games and get hot girls. How come you can't? But I always wanted to prove to myself and to the world that you can be whatever you aspire to. Now, the naive version of this is now I realize how unreasonably difficult that is. And that's why anyone who wins Olympic gold medals at the highest level, like Michael Phelps is the most successful Olympic athlete in history. He has 23 gold medals, but they're all in swimming. He's not also running. And I think it's really important for all of us to decide for ourselves what we care about, because when you narrow that down, this is what I've been telling my clients a lot. When we narrow your circle of concern, when we narrow your focus, your impact gets way bigger. And Kevin and I are working really, really hard. Fitness is a full-time job. Sleep, hydration, nutrition, training, mobility, breath work, supplementation. I got to take my vitamins. Okay, I got to do this. Okay, I got to protein pancakes. Okay, Okay, I got to weigh myself 195.6. Okay, awesome. Okay, I'm trying to get, okay, good. It's a full-time job. Being in shape is a full-time job. That's why most people who have kids, because that's a full-time job, get out of shape. That's why it's called dad bod. Why do you think it's called dad bod? Because the moment I got pets and I got out of shape, never mind kids. I don't even have children yet. So it's very, very hard. So I think that ultimately narrow it down, start really, really, really small, and then stay with it. Stay with it and iterate, and stay with it and iterate. And you will eventually get results that people envy. And the goal isn't to be enviable. The goal is to have a magnificent fucking life. And I know that we can do that if we try really hard and we stay consistent. But it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be overnight. And it does. It inspires people. I think that's why people watch the Olympics, because it's inspiring. It's really inspiring. These people get one shot every 4 years. Can you imagine dedicating every day for 4 years and then losing? To me, that's the most inspiring shit in the world. Because bronze and silver, they're still the third best on planet Earth. They're the second best in the world, and they dedicated their life to something, and I think that's why it inspires so many people.
I don't watch the Olympics because it's on during the day, and I have to work, unfortunately. Never been a fan, really, of the Olympics because I don't understand. I love curling. You ever watch curling? That's the one where they have the broom on the ice, and they had to clean the spot. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool game.
You would watch curling.
I don't know. I've always been drawn to that. It's like, ooh. There's a lot of strategy in it. It's almost like the opposite. It's like it involves very little athletic prowess and a lot of like touch and thinking.
What inspires you?
There's a bodybuilder. His name's Sam Sulek. I talk about him all the time. I definitely have like a low-key man crush on him. He just seems like a good dude. And he went from essentially nobody, and nobody knew him. And then he started a TikTok, and he got in really good shape. Again, he takes steroids. He's fairly open about it. And he just competed in a show and won. And he's just like so humble. But he's like one of the most jacked people on the planet. That inspires me. The amount of work that he's put in, the consistency, and it doesn't seem like he lost sight of being a good man in the process. That's always inspired me. People who are in really good shape. I think that's always inspired me more than almost anything else.
Yeah,
because
you can't fake that.
You can't fake that.
That takes so much work. Yes, you can take steroids. It still takes a ton of work. And
you can win the lottery.
Yeah.
I don't know how your relationship really is behind the scenes, but like when you show up and you take your shirt off, and that's what you've created. I respect that. I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Same.
All right. We actually talked about how to today. Go us. Look at us. We stuck kind of sort of to the script. Alan still has spots available for one-on-one coaching if you are looking to really, really, really take it to the next level. Again, if you listen to this podcast every day, you are doing it. And you're probably tracking habits and you're staying consistent and you probably have above average willpower, so strong work. But if you're looking for that extra kick, that extra accountability, that extra strategy, Alan can help you with that for sure. We'll have his link in the show notes. And then Next Level Live 2025, April 5th, 2025, is a totally virtual event. So we're going to live stream this on Zoom. It's going to be a full day event. Alan, myself, and Amy, we're going to bring our best stuff. And there's going to be breakout sessions. And you can literally get to the next level whilst in your pajamas, which when we record episodes, I'm always wearing pajamas on the lower half of my body. So it'll be a little bit different for me that day because I'll actually have to dress up, but you won't have to. And that's pretty freaking cool, if you ask me. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep it next level. Next Level Nation.